Welcome back, guys. Another episode of my Keep and Sell series. Today we're doing Barcelona. A couple of changes as well. We've got rid of the Gone category because I don't see the point in having that there. Only one or two players, it seems, max, each time I do one of these episodes, is actually confirmed to be leaving. We're still so early on in the transfer window. So many things can happen, but for right now, it seems a bit pointless to have that. I've got more space in the Keep category because that's been trending in this series, just having a lot of players that I want to keep at clubs and not so many that I want to sell. Another thing, I don't want to go on too much about each player. Whenever I go to edit these videos, sometimes I talk about one player for 3 minutes. I need to calm myself down a little bit. So let's get into Barcelona, and once again, just let you guys know, I'm not an expert on, well, any football, but I don't watch maybe as much La Liga as I could, and therefore my opinions may be a little bit different to some, but that's okay. This is all just a bit of fun, all right? So first of all, we've got Boateng here, who came on loan in January from Sassuolo. He's going back. He's only played 4 times. Goodbye. That's what I'm doing with them. Instead of dragging them into a Gone one, just deleting them. So here we've got Malcolm. I really like Malcolm. I saw him play last night in Barcelona's defeat to Valencia in the Copa del Rey final, and actually he looked like one of the most creative players, and I like him. I do like him a lot. Very similar to Dembele, which I guess is a little bit of an issue sometimes, but he is definitely a keep for me. And this is Dembele. Now, the good thing about Dembele compared to Malcolm is Dembele can play across pretty much anywhere. He's two-footed. His left foot is just as good as his right, vice versa, and he's had a bit of a struggle, I would say, so far in his Barcelona career. A lot of injuries and things like that. But why would you sell? It would be absolutely insane to sell him. I would love to have him at Arsenal. Like, he's a dream winger of mine. Imagine having him instead of, like, you know, Iwobi or something like that. But definitely keep Dembele. Next we have the one and only, and in my opinion, the best player of all time. Hands down for me. There is no question. Yes, I know I didn't grow up during the likes of Pele and Maradona, but nah, for me it's Messi. The things he does on the pitch just blow me away every single time I watch him play. He was trying so hard last night to help Barcelona win that game, but even he couldn't do anything. He hit the post with this incredible winding run, and he did get the only goal for Barcelona during that game, but yeah, even he couldn't help last night. But just Messi is Messi. There's no one else. There just isn't. I mean, Ronaldo comes close in terms of what he's won and, you know, being one of the best players in the world. But for me, it's Messi. Messi is the best in the world. So now we've got Suarez. A little bit more of a difficult one, this, because he is past it. I don't think we're seeing the best of Suarez ever again. I think that it might genuinely be time for Suarez to leave Barcelona, but I don't think I would do it just yet. I think you go for maybe one more season with Suarez, mainly because if you sell him, you have to replace him. Who the hell is available right now that's better than Suarez? I don't know, man. You could try and bring in maybe a Lewandowski, maybe a Cavani. I don't know, though. Icardi, maybe. I'd keep Suarez for one more season. And remember, this series is all about right now. Talking about players that should maybe go right now, maybe in a year as well. So you kind of get where I'm going with that. Some players just are bad, but you can't just sell them. You need to replace them, and that would be very expensive and whatever. Next, we have Vidal. What do we think about Vidal, guys? How do we think his season's gone at Barcelona? Because there's no real doubt in my mind that he is a very, very good midfielder, and he's so experienced. Everywhere he's been successful. Juventus, Bayern, and now Barcelona. Is he good enough? Yes, I think so. Yes and no. But the problem for me is he's taking up space. They've got a lot of good midfielders that could be getting more game time ahead of him. I'm thinking players like Elena, we'll be talking about him soon, should be playing more games. And if Vidal isn't in the picture, you get more game time for your other players. I feel like he's kind of in the way. So actually, I'd be tempted to sell. I know it's quite soon after they've signed him, but it's football, isn't it? Football is football. And here is Elena. He's been at the club since he was 8 years old, something crazy like that. And boy, does he look good. I mean, if you wanted to sign him, good luck. He would be so expensive. And to be fair, not many people talk about him in the same breath as some of the other young players around Europe. And I think that's just because he hasn't played enough. But when he has played, he has looked incredible. So for me, he's 100% keep. Selling him would be very silly indeed. Next, we've got Rafinha. Similar to Elena, he's been at Barcelona since very young. I think 13, I think I read. He's been there since 13. Unfortunately, in my opinion, Rafinha, after being out on loan to Inter, the last few seasons haven't been great, have they? I think he'd be much better off at a different club. I don't think he's Barcelona level. I really don't, but he's definitely good enough to get into other top European clubs. I don't think Barcelona's right for him now. I think it's time for him to leave. Next, we've got Arthur, however you want to say his name. I love this guy. I really do. He's kind of come out of nowhere, isn't he? Barcelona have this habit, and so do, I guess, Madrid and some other clubs, of just picking out these young Brazilian players. You think Neymar, for example, and they turn him into superstars. I think Arthur is on his way. I really do. He is already a very good midfielder. So simple. I love simple players that just get the ball and pass it. Great tackler, box to box, does his job, professional. I really like him. Oh dear, next we've got Coutinho. Normally when I start these videos, I have a little think about one or two of them, but I haven't done that at all in this video. Coutinho is the first one that popped up that I genuinely don't know what I would want to do with him. My gut instinct is to say sell because he's been so bad. I really don't think he's been very good at all. I think he's had a very poor season, but we know how good he is. We've seen how good he is. At Liverpool, he was absolutely incredible. So that makes me want to keep. I don't know though. Is he another one like Suarez? Keep him for another season and see what happens. I think he probably is. And they do need a left-sided player to fill the void that Neymar has left. Coutinho hasn't really done that job, but he could still do that job. He's still so young, you know? So I think for now, I'm going to say keep, but maybe give him another 12 months. If he has another poor season, then maybe they should be looking to replace him. Busquets, oh man, I love this guy. If I was to be a professional footballer, obviously I know I'm not good enough, I would love to be like Busquets. He plays my favourite position, CDM, defensive midfielder, just sitting in front of the defence. But also he's so key at getting the ball forward. That is my favourite role in football. The defensive playmaker. I absolutely love Busquets, and I think he might be the best in the world at that over the last 10 years or so, or one of the best for sure. First touch is always incredible, and he's got this very special move. It's just Busquets is so good at this. It feels like he's better than anyone else in the world. It's the drag back. He drags the ball away from players and then passes it across. It works every time, and I don't know how. I guess it's the long legs. It must be. Rakitic. Arguably not his strongest season, but would you sell Rakitic? I don't think so, purely because I'd sell Rafinha and Vidal first. I'd keep Rakitic, again, maybe for another season, see how he gets on, but he has been a true baller for Barcelona since he joined from Sevilla, I think it was. A real all-rounder. That's what I love about Rakitic. He can do everything. Like, what can't he do? He scores goals, he's good at defending as well, his passing range is ridiculous, he's intelligent. I love the guy, I think he's brilliant. And if he was to leave, he has been potentially linked away to, I think Inter were interested, but mostly Manchester United. I think he would be an incredible signing for most teams, but he is getting old now, so maybe it wouldn't quite work out for him. I don't know, but you'd get yourself a great player, wouldn't you? Next, we've got the ex-Arsenal captain, Thomas Vermaelen. I think he's had less than 50 appearances since joining Barcelona all those years ago, which is madness, seeing as they've played 60 games this season or more. So it just goes to show, over the years, he just hasn't played enough, but hasn't been good enough. He's always been injured as well. He's a sell. Just do it. I bet his wages are pretty high, and you're not getting much out of him, you know? Umtiti. I want to put him in sell just because I really want Arsenal to sign him, but if I was in charge, if I was doing this for real for Barcelona, I'd be keeping Umtiti, even if he isn't in the first team all the time because of other defenders that should be. how good is Umtiti to have on the bench, let alone just as a starter? He is such a good defender, a little bit injury prone, and he can be a little bit calamitous. That's why he's perfect for Arsenal, you know. Up next, we've got Sergi Roberto, listed as a defender. Yes, he plays right back a lot, but for me, if he was to sign for Arsenal tomorrow, I'd actually like to see him in midfield. I really do. I don't think he suits the Premier League wing-backs. It's all about pace and strength. Roberto works at right back in Spain, I think, because it's more technical over there. It's less about the pace and physicality. It's more about having the ball at your feet and good passing, and he suits Barcelona like that very well. I'd put him in midfield, but he does a great job at right back. He really does, and he is a keep. Mainly because he is so versatile. You know, he can do both roles very well. We've then got Alba. Big fan of Alba. Still probably one of the best left backs in the world. Doesn't get the credit he deserves sometimes. I know Messi has said many times how good he really is. You see the connection between those two. Messi and Alba, they've done so much together over the years in terms of getting assists. Mainly, of course, it's Alba passing it to Messi with those crosses on the ground into the box. Or it's just lovely to see Messi pull up outside the box and chip the ball over that left wing. And then it's always Alba getting in behind. It's just classic Barcelona, really, isn't it? Here we've got a player that they signed. What's his name? Murray. I've forgotten his name. My mind's gone blank. On loan. I think he goes. He's finished, isn't he? His loan is ended. I don't think they'll be keeping. Is it Moreno or Morelos? I apologise. I have forgotten his name. Next we've got Longley or Lengley. This guy, oh my god. I could talk about him for hours, which is why I'm going to try and keep this short. For me, he's ahead of PK. For me, he's one of the best defenders in the world. Just watch him play. Watch him with the ball. He's intelligent. His passing is unreal. And, you know, the things I would have done for Arsenal to sign him. I remember saying it a few times. We need to sign Longley. We need to sign him. He is the Koscielny replacement. He's gone to Barcelona and he has gone straight into that first team and made it his own. He can't be dislodged by Umtiti now. He's too good. And I love how good he is on the ball. That, for me, is Barcelona DNA. He is Barcelona DNA. We've got Todibo, I think his name is, from Toulouse, I believe they signed him. Very, very good young French defender. I haven't seen him play, I don't think, more than once. Maybe I saw him play once, one appearance for Barcelona. Obviously, it's way too early to tell, but why would you sell a player that you've just signed and that has such a potential? There are so many young French defenders that are looking to be very... It's actually pretty scary. We've then got PK. I wouldn't sell him, but I would definitely think about it sooner rather than later because he is going to be past his best. Probably already has started to be past his best. PK, one of the best Barcelona players over the years for sure. Like such a solid centre-back. He does his job so well. And he is Mr. Barcelona, really, isn't he? It'll be a sad day when he leaves, I think. And to be fair, he might never leave. He might retire at Barcelona, just like Xavi did. So, well, technically, Xavi didn't. He went to play in Abu Dhabi or whatever it was. But I love PK just because of the fact he is a one-club player. Although he came from Manchester United, he never looked like a Manchester United player. He was a Barcelona player. And seeing him play up front last night was fun. It really was. Semedo, I think they've just signed a right back, haven't they? A young Brazilian right back. I believe he's joining up this summer. So his days look maybe a little bit numbered. But I know Valverde's used him as a super sub quite a lot of the time and pushed maybe Sergi Roberto into midfield, or they've put Semedo on the right wing. He's very quick. He's good with his feet. Is he Barcelona quality? Maybe not yet, but you know what? He's still so young. He's a keep for me. I would keep him. We've then got the goalkeepers. I think you keep both of them, don't you, really? We've got Citizen there, and we've got ter Stegen, who probably is the best keeper in the world on his day, isn't he? When he plays well, my God, he's so good. And then we're going into players that have been on loan this season and are coming back. We've got Cucurella, the left back. He is a keep. I believe he played over 70% of his games this season, which shows if he's good enough for La Liga already, he's good enough to be at least back up to Alba. And I think they need another left back. They really do. Denis Suarez, yeah, came on loan to Arsenal and played less than a whole game. Picked up an injury and was out for the rest of the season. He is not good enough for Arsenal. He's not good enough for Barcelona. Absolutely not. So I would sell him. We've got Gomez next, the last player to talk about here. Now, Gomez, I like him. I really do. I think Everton really got the best out of him this season. He's been linked with a move to Tottenham. He's been linked with a permanent move to Everton. Barcelona, I think, are selling him. But I'm in charge here. I think I'd keep him. When you look at the other midfielders they've got, it makes sense, especially if they're selling 3 midfielders here, to keep maybe another one. But is he ever going to be good enough for Barcelona? I think he can be. I really do. I think he can be good enough. But the main worry for me is game time. And if he doesn't get into that first team early on in his season, if he does stay, how's he going to break back in with the likes of Arthur, Rakitic, Busquets? You know, it's very, very difficult. Even Elena, maybe he is ahead of him as well. So maybe he's kind of in between at the moment. I think the likelihood is he will be sold. And they'll be getting, I think, 30 odd million for him. So wherever he ends up, I think he'll be an asset. I really do. So for me, he is a keep because I like him. But I know it's very unlikely. So there we go. Barcelona is done. Let me know if there's any other clubs you would like me to do this on. Obviously, I need to be able to have knowledge of the team. So if you're asking me to do, you know, Portsmouth or something like that, I won't do it because I haven't watched them much this season at all. I've still watched Barcelona maybe 15, 20 times this season, so I'm able to give my own opinion, but it has to be similar. I can't just do any team. So any big clubs around Europe that you think I've probably watched a lot of games of, maybe a few relegated sides in leagues, you know, like the Premier League relegated sides, maybe I could do some of those. I really enjoy this. This is more fun than playing career mode at the moment, which is quite sad. But thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like rating, and I will see you in the next one very soon.